Okay, let's unpack this. I want you to picture something for a second. Just, put yourself in the scenario. You are running a service business,
Right.
and it is the year 2026, and the stakes are, well, they're incredibly high.
Oh, absolutely.
We are no longer talking about just, throwing up a nice little website and paying for some local search ads. We're talking about the central nervous system of an entire operation.
Yeah, the literal backbone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when a business picks the wrong operational software, they aren't just out a monthly subscription fee. The true cost is structural.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are talking about desperate customers calling your competitors because your line just rang out, jobs getting double booked, and field technicians literally driving blind because their routing app failed to sync with the home office.
Yeah, and that operational failure, it operates like a physical domino effect, really.
How so?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
A split-second data synchronization glitch in an office dispatcher's dashboard that translates to, like, 45 minutes of lost windshield time for a technician out on the road.
Wow. Just from a tiny glitch.
Exactly. And that lost time means a canceled afternoon appointment, which turns into a furious customer review, which, ultimately degrades the company's local search ranking. So the software actually dictates the physical reality of the business.
That is a wild way to think about it.
Yeah.
But it's true, which brings us directly to the focus of today's deep dive.
Yes, the service agent article.
Right. We are looking at this really comprehensive independent review article from the Service Agent blog. It's titled 7 Best HVAC Scheduling Software of 2026. And man, they have done the heavy lifting here.
They really have.
They're pulling verified ratings from platforms like G2 and Capterra, digging through all these raw, unfiltered complaints in Reddit threads like our HVAC and breaking down the actual pricing structures. The ones these companies always try to hide behind those annoying call for quote buttons.
Oh, I hate those buttons. But, if we connect this to the bigger picture for a second, the source text focuses heavily on HVAC, right? Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. But the underlying mechanics we are about to explore, they apply to you, whether you are managing an IT support team or running a plumbing fleet, or simply just trying to understand how modern businesses scale complex logistics.
So it's universal.
Totally. We are really looking at how organizations attempt to balance human labor with digital infrastructure. And what becomes immediately apparent from this research is that the software market operates as this strict hierarchy.
Interesting. Based on what?
Based entirely on the organizational maturity of a business.
Right, because every business starts somewhere. Usually the entry point is just this chaotic analog system.
Oh, yeah.
Like a giant whiteboard on the wall, a stack of sticky notes, and maybe, if you're lucky, a sprawling Google Sheet that 3 different people are trying to edit at the exact same time.
Total nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. And eventually the cognitive load just becomes too much for the human brain to track. A job slips through the cracks, or worse, a massive invoice goes unpaid. And suddenly, there is this desperate, urgent need for an entry-level digital tool, which is what the article frames as the bootstrapper's dilemma.
Yeah, getting a highly skilled tradesperson, someone who is, say, a master of thermodynamic systems, but perhaps not a software engineer, to abandon paper requires a very specific type of digital tool.
So what does the article suggest for that?
Well, the source highlights mHelpDesk as the traditional entry point for micro shops, so usually 1 to 5 technicians.
Okay.
And the primary mechanism of value here is speed. The system is designed so that scheduling a job, tracking the hours, and generating the invoice all flow along this single linear digital path.
Nice and simple.
Exactly. Plus, they offer unlimited customer records on all their plans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. For a small shop trying to build a massive database of sporadic, once-a-year clients, never having to pay for database storage is a really powerful hook.
But the text points out a pretty severe vulnerability with FemHelpDesk, though, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Because the estimated entry cost sits around $99 per user per month, though some estimates push that starter tier to $169 a month.
Right.
But the friction isn't just the baseline price. I mean, it's the platform's stability over time. Reviewers are consistently flagging that the interface feels archaic compared to modern web standards.
Yeah, that's a big complaint.
And alarmingly, long-term users have been hit with sudden 37% price hikes.
37%.
Yeah, 37. And those hikes are allegedly tied to feature updates that users claimed didn't even function correctly upon rollout.
No, that's rough.
I mean, Paying a premium for broken features is a fast track to customer churn.
Absolutely. And that kind of technical debt is precisely what leaves a massive opening in the market for a platform like Jobber.
Ah, jobber.
Yeah, Jobber has essentially captured this small crew demographic. The article notes it boasts a 4.6 out of 5 rating on G2 with over 478 reviews.
That's a solid rating.
It is, and the underlying reason for that dominance is how it minimizes administrative friction.
Okay, how so?
Instead of a dispatcher manually typing out customer details and cross-referencing this static, clunky calendar, Jobber uses a drag-and-drop interface.
Oh, that's much easier.
Right. And the customer receives a link to a client hub where they can approve quotes and pay invoices digitally.
Nice.
So the software is fundamentally shifting the administrative labor away from the office manager and onto the software itself.
And partially onto the customer, really.
Exactly.
It's kind of like moving from a messy dorm room into your first fully furnished apartment. It's clean, it's easy, it just works.
That's a great way to put it.
But I'm reading through this pricing breakdown, and there is a massive trap waiting for the business owner.
The scaling penalty.
Exactly. Because Jobber utilizes a per-user pricing model. That $29 a month core plan they advertise, it is strictly limited to one single user.
Yep. So the minute the business owner actually succeeds and, hires a single helper.
Boom. They are forced into the Connect plan for up to 5 users, and the bill rockets to $169 a month. Right.
And if the company expands to 15 users, they are pushed into the Plus plan at $599 a month plus additional fees.
It's crazy.
The software creates efficiency, which enables growth, but then it severely taxes that exact growth.
Yeah, and this is universal. Whether you are running a fleet of vans or you're a director managing SaaS licenses for an IT department, per-seat pricing models inevitably threaten profit margins as the headcount grows.
It's unavoidable.
So the business hits this critical transition phase. They survived the startup years, they scale to maybe 6 to 20 technicians, and the primary operational bottleneck shifts.
To what?
Well, they are no longer struggling with how to organize a schedule, right? They are struggling to maintain their profit margins against escalating software costs.
Oh. And that brings us to what the text calls the middle market squeeze.
Yes.
Companies in this phase are forced to pivot, and the source introduces service fusion as the mathematical antidote to that per-seat penalty.
Because of the flat rate pricing. Exactly. Service Fusion's entire market position is built on flat rate pricing. For roughly $208 a month on their starter plan, a company gets unlimited users.
Wow, unlimited.
Unlimited. You can add 10 dispatchers, 15 technicians, and the base subscription fee remains completely static.
Which is huge.
For an accountant trying to forecast monthly overhead, a fixed cost like that is the holy grail.
I mean, the financial logic is undeniable there, but when we look at the actual operational mechanics out in the field, we see a pretty severe disconnect in the source text.
Oh, really? What kind of disconnect?
Well, the article reveals that Service Fusion's mobile app, which is the actual interface the technicians rely on out in the field, is rated under 4.0 on both major app stores.
Yikes. That's not great.
No, it's not. The interface is described as confusing, and users report system downtime occurring roughly once a month.
A month? That's terrible.
Right. So this introduces this fascinating tension between back-office financial goals and frontline operational realities.
Wait, here's where it gets really interesting, looking at the data from the source. The tedious manual inventory management that reviewers complained about, it completely undermines that flat rate dream.
How so?
Well, is saving a few $100s on software licenses actually profitable if your technician is, like, sitting in a 120-degree crawl space waiting for a clunky app to load just to close out a ticket?
Ah, I see what you mean.
Every minute that technician spends wrestling with a frozen screen instead of driving to the next job is lost revenue.
That's a really good point.
You aren't actually saving money. You are just shifting the cost from the software budget over to wasted payroll and lost opportunity.
And this raises an important question about how businesses measure efficiency. I mean, if a platform's instability creates friction for the revenue-generating employees, the flat-rate pricing is just a false economy.
So what's the middle ground then?
Well, to bridge this gap, the source points to HouseCall Pro as the optimal solution for that 3 to 15 technician range.
HouseCall Pro.
Yeah, at $59 a month for their basic annual plan, it offers a sophisticated level of automation without bogging the technicians down.
Like what kind of automation?
Features like color-coded dispatch boards and automated on-my-way texts, which might sound like minor perks, but they serve a really vital mechanical purpose.
Oh, those automated texts actually solve a massive bottleneck.
They do.
Yeah. When a customer receives a text tracking the technician's arrival, they don't call the main office to ask where the van is.
Oh, right.
That eliminates hundreds of inbound status check calls, which frees up the dispatcher to handle actual inbound sales calls.
That's incredibly efficient.
Now, the text does mention House Call Pro lacks some advanced innovations, like map-based job clustering.
Right.
Without the software actively grouping jobs by neighborhood, a dispatcher might accidentally send a technician back and forth across the city, burning fuel and time. But overall, it acts as a highly polished central hub.
Okay, so as the company continues to conquer those inefficiencies and scales past the 20 technician mark,
That's a big company now.
yeah, the physical reality of the business fractures again. A fleet of 25 trucks isn't just a repair service anymore. It is a complex logistics and revenue machine.
So the problems change.
Exactly. The daily friction moves away from the dispatch board and settles heavily on the accounting department.
And the source highlights a massive vulnerability at this scale called the double entry problem.
Yes, this is huge.
Just imagine a team of dispatchers closing out 50 or 60 jobs a day in their scheduling software.
Okay.
If that system doesn't communicate perfectly with the company's financial ledger, an office manager has to manually retype every single invoice, parts receipt, and labor hour into QuickBooks.
That sounds like torture.
It is. And a single typo like adding an extra 0 to a parts order can completely destroy a company's financial forecasting for the quarter.
So to solve that specific ledger vulnerability, the text introduces Field Edge.
Field Edge, what makes them different?
Well, Field Edge operates at a higher tier. It costs roughly $100 to $125 per user per month.
So we're back to per user.
We are, but its core mechanism is a real-time, bidirectional sync with QuickBooks.
Bidirectional.
Yeah, this isn't a batch export that just happens at midnight. The moment a technician uses a specific copper pipe in the field and closes the job, Field Edge instantly deducts that pipe from the master inventory and updates the ledger.
Oh, wow.
So the dispatcher and the accountant are always looking at the exact same numbers in real time.
But wait, I am reading about the implementation process for Field Edge here, and it honestly sounds terrifying for a fast-moving business.
Terrifying how?
There is a mandatory 5-week onboarding process.
5 weeks.
5 weeks. You don't just sign up and start clicking around. They force the entire company to learn their highly specific workflows, particularly their flat-rate price books and service agreements.
That's intense.
Shutting down or severely throttling operations for over a month just to learn a new software interface seems like a massive risk. I mean, how does a company justify that level of disruption?
Well, you don't shut down operations. You run parallel systems.
Which sounds awful.
Oh, it is administratively agonizing, but entirely necessary. The justification is basically survival.
Survival?
Yeah, at 25 trucks, the sheer volume of data will physically break a manual accounting team. The business must adapt its internal processes to match the software's architecture.
The software becomes the boss.
Kind of, yeah. And if we look at the absolute peak of this market, the enterprise tier, the source brings us to Service Titan.
Service Titan.
Yes, Service Titan is designed for companies with a minimum of 10 technicians, but it's really built to manage massive multi-location operations running 50 or more trucks, managing both commercial and residential contracts.
Yeah, the source lists clients like Guttle Air Conditioning using this platform, and we are talking about $245 or more per technician per month.
It is not cheap.
And that's with setup fees ranging anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000, plus a 6-month implementation timeline.
It's massive, but the features justify the scale, though.
Right. It's like buying a commercial airliner. Yes, it has the best navigation system on Earth, but you can't just hand the keys to a solo pilot on a weekend. You have to adapt your whole company's workflow to the software, not the other way around.
Exactly. And it has real-time GPS fleet tracking and deep revenue performance dashboards. But the concept that really stands out the most from the source is their complex job costing, combined with flat-rate price books that have built-in upsell prompts.
What does complex job costing actually mean, though?
So complex job costing is the mechanism that separates enterprise operators from mid-market players.
Okay.
A basic software tells you, the revenue of a job minus the cost of the parts.
Sure.
Service Titan calculates the exact cost of fuel used, the vehicle's wear and tear per minute, the technician's specific labor burden, including their insurance,
Wow.
and allocates overhead dynamically to determine the true net margin of a single hour of work.
That is incredibly granular.
And then the flat rate price books take that data and turn the technician's tablet into a highly optimized sales presentation. Instead of an intimidating itemized list of parts, the customer just sees a visual good, better, best array of repair options.
Oh, I see. It transforms a mechanic into a sophisticated salesperson without them having to actually learn aggressive sales tactics.
Exactly. Buying Service Titan is like buying an entirely pre-configured corporate infrastructure.
You aren't just purchasing a tool. You are buying a philosophy of how a massive service business should be run. And you're basically bending your entire workforce to fit that mold.
That is perfectly said.
So we have tracked this incredible evolution, right? From the solo operator on Jobber through the flat rate gamble of Service Fusion into the accounting strictness of Field Edge, all the way to the enterprise behemoth of Service Titan.
It's quite a journey.
But the text exposes a massive, glaring blind spot in every single one of these multi-thousand-dollar systems.
Yes. And that blind spot becomes painfully obvious when you look at consumer behavior outside of normal business hours.
Yes, exactly. When it is 11 p.m. on a Saturday in July, and the temperature is still hovering around 95 degrees, and a customer's AC unit dies.
They are panicking.
They don't care about your real-time bidirectional QuickBooks sync.
No, they do not.
They don't care about your beautifully color-coded dispatch board. They're going to pull up Google and start calling numbers in a panic.
Yep.
And if a $50,000 piece of enterprise software is just sitting in an empty office with no human dispatcher awake to answer the phone,
The customer hangs up and calls the next company on the list.
and the business just bled a high-ticket emergency repair directly to a competitor.
Which brings us to the most disruptive technology in the 2026 market.
Yes, the AI plot twist.
Exactly. The final software the source reviews isn't a traditional scheduling tool at all. It is Service Agent.
Service Agent.
Yeah, and Service Agent doesn't replace Jobber or House Call Pro or Service Titan.
So it's an add-on.
Right. It has no interest in routing vehicles or managing inventory. It is an artificial intelligence layer engineered specifically to sit on top of whatever scheduling engine a business is already using.
I want to break down exactly how this works mechanically, based on the article. Because it's wild. When that desperate customer calls at 11 p.m., Service Agent intercepts the call.
Okay.
Using a specialized model the text calls HVAC GPT, the AI answers with a conversational, human-sounding voice.
Wow.
And it doesn't just take a message. It parses the caller's diagnostic problem, asks the relevant triage questions, accesses the company's existing calendar via API, finds an open emergency slot, and books the job directly into the core system.
That is incredible.
And then it immediately fires an automated text to the customer confirming the appointment.
Yeah, zero human intervention.
I mean, the data points provided for Service Agent in the text are just striking.
What are the numbers?
Since its public launch in April 2025, early adopters report a 100% call answer rate.
Obviously, since it doesn't sleep. Right. But more significantly, they are seeing a 75% booking conversion rate on these after-hours calls through the public widget.
75%. Wait, what's the normal baseline?
To understand why that matters, the industry baseline for an unattended after-hours call is dismal 15%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when people are sitting in a sweltering house, they want a voice confirming help is on the way, not a voicemail box.
But the pricing structure completely upends the traditional SaaS model too, right?
It really does.
Because the platform base is free. No monthly subscription, no per seat penalty. The business only pays a usage fee when the AI actually successfully processes a call or handles a payment.
Purely transactional.
It is a purely transactional cost, meaning the software only makes money when it secures revenue for the business. So what does this all mean for the human workers? Is this just a night shift dispatcher that never sleeps? Or is it fundamentally changing how a trades business operates?
Well, what's fascinating here is how this technology conceptually fractures the business model.
How so?
Historically, a service business viewed the front office, answering calls, qualifying leads, booking slots, and field operations, dispatching, inventory, routing, as one intertwined entity.
Right. They all sat in the same building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Service Agent forcibly separates them. By automating the entire front office communication layer, it creates a profound equalization in the market.
Equalization.
Yeah. An owner-operator with 2 trucks running a basic $29 jobber account can plug in this AI and instantly project the operational polish of a 50-truck corporate enterprise.
Oh, I see.
The customer calling at midnight feels completely taken care of, and the technician wakes up to a fully routed, qualified job already loaded on their board.
So the automation paradox is completely bypassed. You are scaling the ability to capture revenue without scaling the administrative payroll required to process it.
Exactly.
It shows us that there really is no single best software on the market. Success comes from matching the tool's specific mechanism to the company's immediate physical bottleneck.
Right, so if you're a solo operator, you grab Jobber for that intuitive friction reduction.
And if you're tired of per-seat fees, you try Service Fusion or maybe House Call Pro for the automated communication.
And if you're a massive enterprise, you brace yourself and buy Service Titan for that ruthless financial tracking.
But if you're losing sleep over missed weekend calls, you plug in an AI like Service Agent.
But regardless of the core engine, the frontier of the industry is clearly shifting toward customer capture. And I want to leave you with a concept to mull over that builds on this text.
Well, lay it on us.
Consider the long-term trajectory of these AI front office tools. As systems like HVAC GPT become more sophisticated, they will begin to handle nearly 100% of the upfront customer experience.
Right.
The customer will never interact with the scheduling software itself. Tools like Jobber or Service Titan will be pushed deeper into the background, becoming these silent, invisible databases simply holding data. The AI will become the actual soul, face, and voice of your company. So you have to ask yourself in a few years, are you really buying scheduling software, or are you just buying a brain for your AI?
If the AI is the only thing the customer ever interacts with, the core value of the software completely flips. The user interface of the scheduling tool stops mattering to the outside world.
Completely.
All that matters is that the invisible background database feeds perfectly accurate, real-time data to the AI. Because if the database fails to sync and the AI double books a job, the customer doesn't blame the database.
No, they blame the voice on the phone.
It's a total paradigm shift in where a business holds its value. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. Keep questioning the systems running the world around you, and we'll catch you next time.